Two boys picked up a cricket bat on the same day in the same gully, chasing the exact same dream. 10 years later, one of them walked out to open the batting for his state team in front of 40,000 people. The other hadn't touched a bat in years. Same starting line, same dream, two completely different lives. Talent didn't split them apart. Neither did money, luck, or even the coaches they trained under. What actually separated them was something so small, so boring, that neither boy even noticed it happening. A single number, 1%. Here's the lie almost everyone believes about success, that it needs a big, dramatic beginning. A perfect Monday, a strict new plan, a total transformation starting right now. And because that perfect start never really arrives, most people never start at all. Or they do, for 3 days, 5 days, maybe a week, and then quietly stop, telling themselves they just don't have the discipline for this. That's exactly what happened to Arjun. Arjun wasn't the worst player on his gully team. He wasn't the best either. He was the kind of average that gets forgotten, out for single digits more often than not, standing at deep fine leg while the better players fielded closer to the action. Every time his friend smashed a boundary, something in him quietly shrank. So he tried to fix it, the way most of us do. He decided to practice for 2 hours a day and lasted 4 days before his shoulder gave out and his motivation went with it. He decided to run 5 kilometers every morning to build his fitness and stopped showing up before the week was even over. Every failed attempt left behind the same thought: maybe I'm just not built for this. Then one evening, walking home past the edge of the village, Arjun stopped outside a blacksmith's shed. An old man named Rafiq Kaka sat there, hammering a strip of raw metal over and over, unhurried. Sparks jumped with every strike. The metal barely seemed to change. "Kaka," Arjun asked, "how long does it take to turn that into a sword?" Without looking up, the old man answered, "Depends. If I try to shape it in one big hit, it never becomes anything, it just cracks." He turned the metal slightly and struck it again. "A blade isn't made by one strike, Beta. It's made by 1,000 small ones. Each strike alone does almost nothing. Together, they make something sharp enough to cut through anything." Arjun didn't say much back, but that sentence stayed with him longer than any team talk his coach had ever given. The next morning, he didn't run 5 kilometers. He walked to the ground and faced exactly 10 balls in the nets. That's it. 10. The morning after 12, then 14, he stopped trying to fix his whole technique overnight and picked one flaw at a time, starting with just his back foot movement for 2 full weeks, nothing else. For the first month, honestly, nothing about him looked different. His scores were still ordinary. A couple of teammates even laughed, asking if 10 balls a day really counted as practice. But the strikes kept landing. By the 3rd month, 10 balls had quietly turned into 90. His shaky back foot defense had become his most reliable shot on the field. He still looked like Arjun, same face, same gully, but something underneath had shifted, the way metal shifts under a hammer, long before it ever looks like a blade. 11 months after that evening outside the blacksmith's shed, Arjun walked out to bat in a state-level selection trial. He scored 84 off 61 balls under real pressure in front of selectors who didn't know his name yet. When his coach asked him afterward how a boy who used to get out for nothing had turned into this, Arjun just smiled and said, "I didn't change overnight, sir. Nobody does. I just got 1% sharper every single day." That's the part almost nobody tells you about real transformation. It doesn't announce itself. It compounds quietly in the background while you're busy feeling like nothing is happening. And the math backs this up almost exactly. Improve by just 1% a day for a year, and you don't end up 100% better. You end up roughly 37 times better, because 1% compounded daily doesn't add up, it multiplies. Write just 100 words a day, and by year's end, you've written enough for a full novel. Add 500 extra steps today, a few more tomorrow, and within months, you're covering distances the old you couldn't have imagined. None of it feels significant on any single day. That's exactly why most people quit before it starts working. They judge day 3 by the standard of day 300. So, if you're standing where Arjun once stood, average, invisible, tired of starting over and giving up, stop looking for the big leap. You are never going to find one. You need one small strike today, just 1%. Tell me in the comments, what's the 1% you're adding today? Because nobody builds a sword in a single hit. And nobody builds a life in a single day either. One strike at a time is how it's always been done.